Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Muhammad Hanif bin Yahya. Now I will explain about the Tawaruk Commodity Muabahah in Malaysia. According to policy document by Bank Negara Malaysia, tawaruk defined as an arrangement of the two separate sell and purchase contract. The first contract is where the seller offer an asset to a purchaser, but the payment is deferred. And then the second contract, the purchaser then sells the same asset to a third party, but for immediate cash, or we call as a on-spot transactions. Now, the crucial part. The crucial part is the seller in the first contract cannot be turned around to be a buyer in the second contract. This is to avoid buy al-ina, or we call as a circular trading. This to ensure the asset generally move to a third party, which is a key aspect maintaining Sharia compliance. Tawaruk also known as a commodity murabahah because the first stage involve murabahah akad, a cost plus profit sales. The real intent behind the tawaruk is achieving liquidity. It is done by converting a future payment obligation into the present cash. It's important to note that the commodity involved is not intended for the customer personal use. Instead, it serves as the Sharia compliant pathway to acquire liquidity. This objective raised concerns. There is a fear that tawaruk might be construed as a legal method to mimic interest-based lending. Therefore, the focus on the substance, the sequence of the transaction, and the evidence of the real asset transfer is absolutely critical to maintaining its Sharia compliance. Now we move into the pillar of contract. First, contracting party. The contracting party must have legal capacity under Malaysian law. This ensures that all transactions carried out by individual or identity who are legally recognized to enter into the tawaruk contract. Then offer and acceptance must demonstrate clear expression of intent. Third, subject matter or the asset involved in the contract need to be valid, identifiable, and deliverable. This guarantee that both parties have a mutual understanding of what is being exchanged. And lastly, the price must be known and clearly determined. Transparency in pricing helps maintain the trust and ensure all parties are aware of their financial commitment. What asset can be used as an underlying asset in a tawaruk contract? First, the asset must be recognized as mal, which means it's considered valuable by Sharia standard. This is crucial because the asset needs to be something that can be owned, transferred, and enjoyed. Bank Negara Malaysia mandates that the assets must already owned by the seller before the sales. This ensures that transaction is Sharia compliant and there is a genuine ownership involved. Now, what asset cannot be used in a tawaruk contract? First is a financial right, such as receivable and debt instrument, to avoid by undying trading in debt. And then ribawi item like gold, silver, and currency also excluded. Now, let's explore what is the common commodity used in Malaysia for tawaruk in 2022. The most common is the crude palm oil, CPO, making up 42.6%, and then metal, 30.8%, and then plastic resin accounting for 16.7%, and fourth most common is rubber, 14.5%. The selection criteria for this commodity, they must be halal, fungible, deliverable, and importantly, they cannot be currency or ribawi monetary asset like a gold, silver to ensure compliance with Sharia principle. In Malaysia, tawaruk transactions are often executed through commodity platforms such as Bursa Su Asila and sometimes international brokers such as DDCAT. This platform helps tawaruk operationally efficient because they provide a pool of supplier and buyers, modern electronic infrastructure, clear proof of ownership and transfer. Islamic financial institutions must assess the platform resilience and legal soundness, and they must ensure the trades are not circular to avoid buy al-ina. Now we move to straight-through processing, STP. STP is defined as an automated sequence of purchase and sales order. Bank use it because it improves speed and reduce operational error. The SSC ruling on SDP highlights several key conditions. First, correct sequence. The contract must be executed in the correct order. Second, identifiable assets. The asset must be specifically determined by location, quantity, and quality. And third, right to delivery. The purchaser must have the right to take delivery at each stage. And fourth, disclosure. The option to take delivery must be disclosed to customer. Wakalah is the central operation in Tawaru. Bank Negara Malaysia allow party to enter contract through an agent which make the model more practical. The common arrangement is first, scenario A, customer appoint the bank as wakil to buy commodity. Scenario B, the customer appoint the bank as wakil to sell commodity to a third party. And the scenario C, the bank appoint a broker as sub-wakil to execute trade on exchange. What is the specific Sharia requirement in wakalah governance? First, clear mandate. The wakalah contract must specify roles, responsibility, and trading partners. Second, liability. The agent is liable for misconduct or negligence, but not for normal business risks. Third, conflict of control. If the bank acts as an agent for both sides, strict segregation of duty and controls are required. The goal is to prevent the bank from selling to itself, which will invalidate the contract. Now let's explore the product using Tawaru. One of them is a deposit-based Tawaru for products such as saving account and term deposit. What is the process? First, the customer deposit money in the bank. Next, bank act as an agent to purchase the commodity on behalf of the customer from asset supplier 1. This occur on a spot basis, meaning it's an immediate exchange. After the purchase, the customer then sells the commodity back to the bank. This sale is on deferred term, which means the customer will eventually receive their deposit along with a profit murabahah. Following this, the bank sells the commodity to supplier 2 for cash, which is the liquidation step. Finally, at the maturity, the bank pay the deferred price, which is the principal amount plus any profit back to the customers. This is how customer earn from saving account and term deposit. The next product is financing-based tawaru, common use in personal financing, vehicle financing, and home financing. Firstly, the process begins with the bank purchasing the commodity from asset supplier 1 on a spot cash basis. Then, the bank sells the commodity to the customer, but this time on deferred term. This means that the customer will pay the cost plus an agreed profit over time. It creates a debt obligation from the customer to the bank. Finally, the customer, through the bank acting as their agent, sells the commodity to the asset supplier 2. The cash proceeds from these sales are then received by the customer as financing. In a nutshell, Tawaru is a vital tool for liquidity management and financing in Malaysia. It allows Islamic bank to offer competitive products like personal financing and deposit towards Malaysian.